the challenges that we're going through as social media experts sometimes is trying to encourage those larger businesses to be more comfortable with the transparency involved in that and build personalities out of their bigger business. I was talking to someone from the Board of Trade the other day. Is anyone here from the Board of Trade? Not like members, but are there members here? Anyone who works for the Board of Trade? Okay, then I'm going to share this story. Darcy can tell me later. Okay, so Darcy Resnick, as we all know, is the Executive Director of the Board of Trade. He is the face of his company. He's got some amazing people working for him there, and they don't use social media within the Board of Trade to bring out those personalities. So I was sitting there on a lunch with one of their marketing people, and I said, well, why don't you become a face for the marketing team and connect with people and understand that? She was like, well, Darcy Resnick is the face of the Board of Trade. That's just how it works. And I think that one of the beautiful things about technology is that there is a place for all of us to have a face. Yes, it's a little bit overwhelming, but we will all find our niches in that. I think that's important to carry that through to business, and I'm so making this about my opinions. Sorry, Bradley, you brought this on. Anyway, any other comments or anything? Do you guys, by show of hands, who wants to continue the debate, or who wants to network and just chill out and kind of have this in smaller groups? Because we can go either way. A, continue in a large group. Okay. B, continue in smaller pods, just chilling out. Okay, I have a suggestion. Those of you who want to continue in smaller pods, I'm going to break right now. Get up, go get your drinks. We're going to continue with a few more questions over here for the people who want to do it for a longer route. And that way we kind of get the best of both worlds. Okay, so those that want to continue, hands up who has a comment next. You have another comment. Okay, back to the Make It Business boy over there. I can't remember, what was your name? Solomon, right. I remember that.
Thank you. Well,
Make It Business, yes I did, because he works with Make It Business. They thought there was something kind of fishy about that, but no.
Sorry, no, it's a Make It Business magazine. I'm sorry about that. Should have explained that earlier. No, actually, I think social media that we should really recognize is that there's a whole form of social media that we have neglected, actually. It was actually the forums. For a lot of institutions or even banks, if you're actually talking about like problems or questions for customers, to build a strong relationship, you can use those weak ties that you have, put them into like forums, give them an ID. You know who they are. If they have questions, go on there, they talk about it, you go in as your own personal ID, go in and say, hey, I'm from this company and I have a solution to your problem. You build that strong tie, and that's what forum is about. And then you go into Facebook, if you're just trying to attract awareness, that is a great place to go. Almost a couple 100 million people are on there from around the world. And then you go into Twitter if you just want to get people to follow you on what's going on currently. They are all weak ties, but then again, they can become strong ties, depends on how you work on it. But again, that is very good to attract attention, attract awareness. So it really depends on how you work on it. And for getting jobs, for example, LinkedIn, it's great at that. It's all professional works. And the thing that I want to say is that if everyone really wanted to understand how really social media works, just look at the background of the social media. Who uses it? Why are they using it? Understand the people who uses it and cater towards it. If your business caters towards that, use it. It's a great way to attract attention or even build strong ties in the very end.
That's great. I think we have another comment up here, and while we're waiting for the microphone to be passed, how many people took the stairs up here tonight? Okay, according to Malcolm Gladwell, you are not contributing to obesity in America. And you do not need to figure out another way to exercise, so you're all good. Okay, next comment.
I just want to add to what you were saying over there in something that's real and you can go touch it and feel it and experience it yourself today. So there's a local organization that's really kind of about trying to change things and change the way stuff works and all that. And so if you've not been there, I'd suggest you go there. There's a website, changeeverything.ca.
Fancy.com.
I didn't say that.
I did.
So the notion here is that by giving people a place to interact and to do things, there's no theme here other than the theme is change. There's no underlying message of somebody administrating or guiding the conversation, but people go there and they just kind of self-govern themselves. But the idea is that by going to a place and having a discussion with your community or with your friends, you're going to start to build trust. And when you start to build trust under an organization or something else, in turn you become trusting of that organization. And so this organization, Van City, is all about trying to build community. And there's this side spin-off that by putting something out there that the community can grow, they get a benefit. We don't know what the benefit is. What's the value to the people there, other than, we didn't even say the name, somebody else advertised, right? So there's something you can feel and you can touch and you can go see how successful they were. And by the way, yeah, you can go there and you can see people actually say really bad things about that organization as well. It's quite open and fair.
That is the danger about social media, why so many people are so uncomfortable with it from a business perspective, is because you do get all of that. I can't tell you how many positive things we got about F5, but we also got equally negative things. And I don't know, maybe as you get to be a bigger organization, it's easier to take that feedback. This is small. No, are you saying, no, it's not, it still hurts. I know, because you're on the front line. You're like, it's terrible. But I want to close off tonight by introducing a good friend of mine, and I'm putting her on the spot here. Her name is Krista Miklasak, and she's a social media expert here in Vancouver and has done some amazing things. She was actually the keynote for Third Tuesday last week, which is why I feel comfortable putting her on the spot here. And I know she's been lingering in the background, and I want to ask her to just kind of close off with your thoughts on what you thought of Malcolm and what the last few pieces of advice you could give to people here tonight.
Sure thing. Directly on the spot. Lovely. Well, it's probably no surprise that this is quite high. Yeah. I'm used to being tall. That's very unfair. Sorry, competition there. You know, I think that Malcolm Gladwell had some good things to say, and perhaps some things I didn't agree with. I think that whether or not social media presents weak or strong ties really is based on how you decide to use it. So what I mean by that is if you decide to go out and blast people and say, hey, if you follow me, I'll follow you, and this will be great, I'll scratch your back and you'll scratch mine, and by the way, we've never met, and you don't nurture that network, then sure, you're creating weak ties. Not to say that they're not useful for something, they're probably good for brand awareness, but nonetheless weak ties. However, if you're very specific in the way that you build your networks, for example, I know individuals, Karen and I had lunch today actually, and we were talking about individuals that we know that only allow people that they've actually met face-to-face into their LinkedIn networks. Well, then you're using social media for a different reason, and you're only using it to nurture or strong ties rather. So I believe it's all based on how you position it and how you use it. And what do I believe social media is? You know, what's my advice for you? How do you incorporate it into your business? I would second Karen's point in that it's not new. What it is it's an evolution of communication. Maybe revolution is too strong of a word, but what it is a different way. It's an open dialogue market of brand communicating with consumer, employee communicating with employers, so on and so forth. And what I do know is that the evolution is here to stay. As a consumer, I'm not going to accept a closed dialogue marketplace again where the brand tells me everything I need to know. I want to know what Lindsay thinks. I want to know what Bradley thinks. I want to know how Karen feels. And that evolution's here to stay. So, you know, my suggestion is call it what you want to call it, a weak tie, a strong tie, social media, an evolution, whatever you want to call it. But take advantage of the open dialogue marketplace that it's created and learn from your customers, learn from your employees, learn from your friends, and use it in that way. So, that's my stuff.
Maybe you should be able to finish up. Isn't that a cheap way for me to get out of doing an outro? Just bring up your friends. Anyway, once again, I want to thank Mingleverse for streaming this live tonight. I want to thank the Van Mac guy over there for being a sponsor. I want to thank Targus. I don't know if Maria's still in the house, but Targus is providing some door prizes for here later on tonight with $350 in value. So if you go into your pods now and do some more networking and drink up, have some food. There are some appies that are coming out now. You will be around for the door prizes later. So, thanks guys for coming and enjoy yourselves and have some